Hello, hello, hello. My name is Natasha Nurse. I'm the owner and co-founder of Justin Mermaid, a coaching and consulting platform for women entrepreneurs and women creatives. I am excited to be here for the Dear Journal series. This is my journal. This journal, if you are a Walking Dead fan, will recognize this guy, this gorgeous man. And I do a Dear Journal. I've reenacted this series for a couple of months now. And the purpose is to really encourage people to get out here and write and journal and talk about your feelings and emotions and not keep everything just bottled inside. We have to have mechanisms and coping methods for what's going on in our lives. And for me, writing is not only therapeutic, but it is cathartic. It is a form of expression. It is something that you could monetize down the road. It could be a business opportunity. Journaling is everything. And for me, I like to pick topics that like kind of themes that I'm going to be thinking about or addressing each month. And this theme or this topic for my journal entry that I wanted to share today is about being ready for an adventure. So what is the big news? What is my adventure? So I was born and raised in Manhattan, and New York has been a big part of my identity for all of the years that I've been alive. But this year I am making a move. I am no longer going to be a New York resident. Woo-hoo! I'm moving to Arizona. And people are like, yay. People are like, what? Some people are like, why? Which the why, why New York? But that we'll talk about that. We'll talk about all of that good stuff. But the big news is, yes, I am no longer going to be living in New York. I'm going to be moving to Arizona. Things are still being finalized and worked out. So, I'm not necessarily giving you guys a date this moment, but definitely in the upcoming weeks, getting my house ready, getting my life ready, all of that good stuff. And today I want to talk about, based on my journal entry, what does it mean to be ready for an adventure? Why do you want a new adventure? All of that good stuff. So what can you do as we get into the conversation? First, if you have comments, if you have thoughts, if you have a big change that's coming up in your life and you want to talk about it, this is the opportunity to do so. I'm here. Let's have a conversation, right? And I'm going to talk about kind of what's going on with me, but it doesn't mean I don't want to hear from what's going on with you. So please feel free to chime in and share your thoughts and share, what's going on in your life. So first, Arizona. Like I said, people hear the news and they're like, what? Why Arizona? So my initial reaction to that is just laughter, because being that I am a New Yorker and I have found New York to be, it's a big city, right? There's a lot going on in New York. If you've never been, you should totally visit. It is a once in a lifetime type of opportunity to see lots of stuff, to eat lots of stuff, to interact with lots of different people that probably don't exist everywhere else in this country. But is New York the happiest place to live? For me, I would say no. For others, maybe the answer is yes. For me, it hasn't. I grew up in, if anyone is aware of Stuyvesant Town, that's where lower Manhattan, and it was a beautiful area to grow up. It was a safer area to grow up. It was kind of a nice microcosm in the city because you had stores on the outside, but the complex itself is just a bunch of apartment buildings and parks, and there's like a main like park area that you can run around and walk, and there was a basketball courts and tennis courts. So it's a nice like little live in the city without feeling like you're in the city. So I always appreciated that. And then after 14, moved around a lot because of internal family drama. And then I arrived at Penn State at 17 years old and met my husband. Woohoo! Shout out to Khalil of Woken Free, a podcast that I'm a co-host and co-producer of. And then we had our beautiful 4 years at Penn State, and then we came back to New York. And to be honest, I would say probably the happiest years of my life have been when I was outside of New York, ironically. But I didn't think about that when I was going through that and I was living through that. And what I suspect to happen is when I move away from New York again, right? Because I moved away for a little bit for college at Penn State. But when I move away now to Arizona, I suspect that I will also find joy and happiness that I'm not finding here because of a couple of things, right? What are those couple of things? First, weather. Weather is important. It may not be important for everyone. It's important for me for a couple of reasons. A, I do not like season changes. I'm not a fan of the cold weather. I'm not really a fan of rain, like a ton of rain or a ton of snow, bitter cold temperatures. I'm not a fan of kind of like hurricanes and, torrential, this, that, and the other. Nope, not a fan of it. Why? Because for me, it just makes my body like just shiver. And also, if anyone has paid attention to any of the other videos I've put out, I have something called hypothyroidism, which means my thyroid isn't productive enough. It's not producing enough hormones that I need to. And if you have that, there are a bunch of symptoms that you deal with, anything from depression to, it's harder to lose weight. You have heat and cold intolerance. Like your thyroid's super hella important. I was just talking about this yesterday. And when your thyroid is not functioning well, for me, I have found that exercise has been a really great counter to some of the things that I'm going through within my body that literally I'm not controlling, right? It's happening because it's a biological event that's happening. And so I really feel that I need an environment that's going to be conducive for me to exercise without a bunch of shivering, without a bunch of, is it too cold to go out to the gym? Like right now, it's not so great in New York. It's kind of chilly. Am I really motivated to go outside? Not really. Now, the counter of that could be, well, you know what you need to do? You need to exercise no matter what the weather is. Yes, indeed. But, wouldn't it be conducive for me to put myself in a scenario where I could do what I need to do, 9 times out of 10 without having to worry about weather issues, right? If you have health conditions, if you have certain circumstances in your life, I think it's behoove us to put ourselves in situations that lend for more opportune success and more opportunities. So one, heat. Heat is very important. Sunny all day, every day. Yes, I understand it gets crazy hot in the summer. I can't wait. So yes, I want to become a raisin. Yes. Next, I mentioned, a little bit about who I am and what I do. So coaching and consulting, what does that mean? I work one-on-one with people when it comes to business organization, autonomy, how to monetize their creative endeavors, how to present themselves in their business on social media, right? And what's interesting is I've been, working with people on the East Coast primarily. I do have some West Coast folks that I work with, but, I am interested in developing and doing more. I do also a lot of public speaking. So doing more business, exploring more business opportunities on that side of the country. Like this summer in June, I'm really excited to be one of the selected speakers for No Barrier Summit, right? That's huge. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be a life changer for people who attend, for people who speak. It's going to be great, right? And I'm looking to do more speaking and more business opportunities out on that side of the country because it's hot, it's warm, it's beautiful, right? And also, I think if that's something that you are interested in, right, in life, when you have an interest, instead of just saying no to yourself because it's foreign, because it's different, how about you say yes and try to find out how to make it work? Right? How about we do that instead of just denying these opportunities? All my life, actually, I grew up watching most television movie shows that were based in LA culture, based in California culture. I mean, primarily for the majority of my life, I've been accused of not even sounding like a New Yorker. They say, oh no, you sound like you're from Cali. I've been to California once. And I have always felt kind of this draw, this intimate passion for that part of the country. And I usually said no to myself because it was like, oh, well, your family, friends, blah, 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 all these rationalized bullshit, really, that kept me on this side of the coast. No more. Your girl is freeing herself, and I'm encouraging you to do the same. If you have a passion, if you have a yearning, you owe it to yourself to pursue it. You owe it to yourself to go out and make it work, right? Because whether it works or not, right, that's a whole other conversation. You have to try, because if you never try, you already failed. So you have to try, you have to get out there. So opportunity is like number 2 with a bullet, because I know that there are going to be newer and different things that I can do out there. Not to say that I can't do it here, but I want to explore it in a new terrain. I want to explore new types of opportunity. So number 2, opportunity. Number 1 was heat. Number 2 is opportunity. Number 3, I talked about it already. Fitness, giving kind of myself the conditional circumstance to make it super easy to get out there and move my body. I don't feel well when I'm not moving my body. I need to move my body. Hypothyroidism is killing my energy levels. It's killing certain things that I have, and that's okay, because I can overcome it. We can all overcome whatever we're going through, but we have to have the determination. We have to have the resolve to work through whatever we're working through, and I have the resolve to put myself in an opportune situation so that there are no excuses, so that I make it super easy for my body and my mind and my soul to be fed all day, every day. Yes, yes, yes. And then I think those primarily are the main reasons. And I guess my answer to kind of when people say, why Arizona, other than those reasons that I've given, my other initial kind of response is, well, what exactly is keeping me in New York? I think, when you look at, there's a lot of really great stuff here, but there's also a lot of really crappy stuff here. And to be honest, do I feel some sort of allegiance or some sort of no, I could never leave New York? No. Maybe when I was younger and when I was living in the city and stuff like that, because I think there's kind of this Kool-Aid that goes around when you're in the city culture and you're just oh, it's Manhattan or it's wasteland, and that's bullshit. That's crap. There's a whole world outside of New York. There's a whole world outside of the United States. So get a grip. Stop drinking the Kool-Aid and acknowledge the opportunity, the glory and the amazement. I mean, even living further east from the city, I've found happiness, definitely out here, but the weather kills me. The weather is just not working for what I want. The scenery's cool, but it's, again, snow, rain, a whole bunch of nonsense. It could be better, right? So it could be better. So things that I'm focusing on and things that you should focus on if you're looking to make a big change in your life, and whether it's a physical change, whether it's a moving relocation change, maybe it's a career change, spiritual change, right? We all have all these different changes going on in our life. So what should we be focused on? So for me, I have a couple of points to talk about. One, deciding what you want. So me and my hubby, we were actually going back and forth about do we stay where we are and just try to make New York work, or do we move? Do we just take that leap and make that decision? And, ironically, we were having, specific conversations, and we just looked at each other and we were yeah, what are we doing? What are we, we just had kind of that click, that aha moment of just this is ridiculous. If we don't make this move, if we don't spread our wings, when will we, right? Are we going to wait 10 years, 50 years to live the way that we want to live, right? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? So if you're waiting to live a certain way, stop waiting. Just start living, right? So decide on what you want. That's the first thing, right? Have some sense of clarity, have some sense of purpose. We have specific reasons why we're moving, right? Those are the things that we've explored, right? The ability that we talked earlier, ability to have certain opportunities and new opportunities available to you. Heat. Hello, sun. I miss you, right? Intense, lovely heat and weather. Yes, yes, yes. Also, conditions and being able to explore new activities and things like that. Making fitness not something that I do, but a part of my life. It's just a part of my lifestyle, right? Those are specific reasons why we're moving. If you are picking a city to live in, you have to have specific reasons why you're going out and doing what you're doing, whether it's to live, whether it's a career change, whether it's a personal change, people change, right? You have to have specific reasons why you're doing what you're doing. So next, and this is really important, so shout out to anyone who feels kind of flabbergasted or taken back when people do this to you. So what have I found with the conversation of, hey, I'm moving, which is people who want to ask a bunch of questions, right? And the questions could be like surface level questions like, oh, well, why are you deciding that? And then there could also be kind of more in-depth questions where personally, I just think it's like, you're entitled to ask it, but guess what? I am not required to explain or defend my decisions, right? Like if I choose to give you an answer, that's a choice that I'm making, but I am not required to tell you how I'm moving and when I'm moving and why and also, what things have I lined up, and all of these kind of either financial, legal, business, like, whoa, right? Like, why are you deep in my pocket? Because you're not paying my bills. You're not living my life. Yet somehow you feel the need to inquire. Listen, if you need to make a change in your life, but you have fear or you have hesitation because there are a bunch of people in your pocket trying to get a bunch of answers that have no bearing on their life, you can say, I'm good. And that's what I do. When people are going out of control with the questions, I'm like, we're good. We're going to make it work. Thank you for all of your support. Have a great day. Just push back. You know what that is? That's called creating healthy boundaries, because it is up to us to show and teach others how we want to be treated. And that absolutely begins with giving people the hold up verbal pause when they're in your pocket too much. Because again, unless they're paying your bills, unless you're asking them for money and a whole bunch of other types of things, right? People are not, they don't need to have your whole mapped out plan. It is up to you to live your life. You do not have to explain it. You just have to live it. So just keep that in mind, right? I have found that to be very key with this process because, like I said, some of these questions that people are inquiring about, like, I get it. Maybe they're nervous or they're trying to figure out, how I'm going to make it work. ... Cool. It's not your business. And I have no problem saying it. What I do is, so that, unless I'm intending to harm your feelings, which I'm not intending to put harm into this world. So I'm not doing that. What I do is, you kind of pause the conversation with love and thank you. I'm good. We're totally good. Right. And then that person gets the cue like, oh, okay. Right. Because it's like, I'm asking her a bunch of questions. She's not required to answer them. Point blank, period. Next. And that's how we keep it moving. So there's that. Next, it doesn't matter if people don't support your plan, right? So what I have found is that there will be people in your life who, maybe they're friends, maybe they're family, maybe they're strangers, right? Who will outrightly tell you, oh, well, I don't think you should do this. Or is this really a good idea? Can you really make it work? I don't think you're going to make it work, right? They will give you any type of miserable, negative response because misery loves company, right? If they're miserable, why do they want you to be happy? And then second, you're doing something brave, right? You're taking a leap, you're making a change in your life, right? That gives other people permission to then do the same. And if they don't, then they feel a certain kind of way about it and they're in their feelings. And then you've upset them because you've kind of wrecked their false reality that like, oh shit, like you're in control of your life. Oh shit, you can actually be happy. You can actually choose happiness and joy. You can actually choose to make a change and a shift in your life. Hells yes, you can decide what is happening in your life. You can decide to choose you for your life. And if that upsets or stirs up stuff in other people, that is not your business. That is not your problem. That is that person's problem. So if you are sharing some of your big changes that you're making, and I warn you to be mindful of how much you're sharing and really making sure that we're doing a lot of action, because it's key to act. And we can always talk about it later. But sometimes I find even talking about how much I move and stuff like that, I'm not necessarily talking about it all the time, right? Because ultimately, not everyone's for you, right? Not everyone is interested in your happiness and your joy. And a lot of people would revel in other people's failures and other people's challenges and obstacles. So keep that in mind. Not everyone's for you. Not everything is for you. So, if you are if you're having selective conversations and you're saying, okay, this is the change that I'm looking to do, and you feel like that's an appropriate conversation to have with that person, just understand that if they don't support you, that's cool. That's okay. Good for them. It's not their life. So yay to them, right? And they're entitled to their opinion, but their opinion has no bearing on the decisions you're making in your life. As similarly, if they told you something and you didn't support them, that's your problem, not theirs. So, because people you have to give yourself permission to live. You've got to give yourself permission to live how you want, go where you want, live how you want. Right? It's not up for debate. This isn't a democracy. Your life is not a democracy. Your life is dictated by what you want, by what you say, by what you do. So if you understand that premise, if you get it, then you will live it and you will be unapologetic about it, which is what I am doing with my big transition. Like, I could give a damn what my family thinks. I could give a damn what friends think. Don't really care, because my life isn't a democracy. I'm not polling, getting votes. Get the hell out of here. No, you either support me, and if you do, cool. And if you don't, oh well. I guess that's the end of that, right? Like, it is what it is. It's not no sweat off my back, as they like to say, right? Next is make the best decision for you and your household. So I encourage you to think about where you live and what you're doing and how you're living, and in context of financial relevancy. And I say this because primarily, and I actually didn't mention this before, but New York living is expensive. I mean, New York living isn't a game, guys. It's hella expensive. I mean, some of the rental prices that I see out here in New York City and Brooklyn and even out in the island, like it's deep. It is hella expensive. And if you're trying to live a certain lifestyle because you're like, well, I gotta make it here. This is what I should be doing. What you should be doing is doing what you want to do in conjunction with what you can afford to do, right? And so if New York living is out of your budget, then you have got to figure out either how to increase the money, right? Or reduce the costs and or do both. Live in a budget and reduce costs. So I just encourage you to think about the lifestyle that you're living, the budgets that you have in mind and that you're trying to adhere to. And is your lifestyle really affording you the life that you want, right? Because it's great to say you live in a place, but if you're living paycheck to paycheck, just because you're living in this kind of posh environment, is that really what you want, right? Do you need to have 3 jobs, 4 jobs just to live in, grand old New York City? If that's what you want, then that's what you want, right? No shade, no judgment, nor does what I think matter, right? At the end of the day, if that's what you want, that's what you want. But for me, I'm all about, I love the side hustle. I love having multiple streams of income. I think that that's key. Most millionaires have multiple streams of income. That's how they become a millionaire, right? It's much easier to add up to $1 million if you have 9 to 20 different types of income streams. It makes sense, right? So I get it. Having multiple streams of income is not at issue. What might be at issue long term is trying to have 4 jobs just to afford kind of a crappy apartment in a big city that you don't really enjoy because you're too busy working 4 jobs, right? Like, just think about the logistics of your life and think about the logistics of your lifestyle and just make sure it's in tune and it's authentic to what you want. Because sometimes what I find with the New York Kool-Aid is that people come here, right, fighting for the dream, wanting to live their dream, and then they realize they did all of this work, they did all these things, and they missed out on their child's childhood. They missed out on being able to go to the Broadway plays, which is why they moved here, to enjoy theater, but now they don't have any time because they're too busy working 80 to 100 hours a week, right? And if you do that for 30 years, is that going to take a toll on your health? Right? Is that taking a toll on the type of life that you wanted for yourself? That's up to you to answer those questions, right? So just get real with yourself. That's all I say. As we're making decisions, and if maybe you're in the middle of that, right? Maybe you've been doing this kind of hard ass living for 14 years, and you see this video, and you're like, F, like, you know what? I am tired of waking up at 5 a.m. and going to bed at midnight for 6 days a week and on having one day of my life of being able to do laundry and maybe seeing the kids or maybe seeing, your friends and family, and then starting that whole train wreck all over again. If so, guess what? It is never too late to make a change. It is never too late to shift how you think, to shift how you live, to shift what you want. It is never too late to decide how to live and what does living mean to you? I think that's a question that we need to all ask ourselves. What does living mean to me? Right? And making sure that that answer is authentic with what you want. All right. So that's a big one. That's a really big one, but it's a super important question to answer. And me and my hubby have gotten clear on it. And, I think for us, it's been freeing. It's been very, very freeing. And it's just been a glory. It's been a glory being able to come to this decision, because I would say we're fairly, not fairly young in our lives, right? And it's been really glorious being able to have that type of insight, that type of wisdom, and to have the balls to do something about it, right? To decide, you know what? We're cool, player. We're good. We're going to make a change. And, I wish wellness and love and joy for anyone who does remain a New York resident, right? We gotta have people living in all cities, right? So if you're committed to that New York hustle, do you? But I am really excited to have this kind of awakening and to decide, because again, this is something we've wanted for just about 2 years. We were like, okay, I think like 2 years, we got the idea and we're like, we're going to do this. And then we were like putting the pedal to the metal, right? And it's like, we're going and that's it. Right. And that's it. It's just, there's no questions. That's it. And it's been really freeing being able to come to that conclusion. Next, I would say when thinking about making a big change, what do people do? Even if it's a small change, what do people do? Worry. Oh my God, can I do it? Oh my God, how am I going to get everything together? Am I going to have enough time? Who here has ever felt worrying has ever helped them ever in their life? My hand will never go up. I highly doubt yours will either. Worrying is a waste of energy. Waste of energy. It doesn't do anything, doesn't solve anything, doesn't make the process better. What does it do? It creates anxiety. It creates a sense of, right? Like you can't breathe and it's frustrating. And also you can work your way out of even moving forward because you worried so much that you've created kind of scenarios where it's not going to work anymore. And then it doesn't. And then you're really screwing yourself, like really. So I just encourage you, when the word worry, when you start to feel those worry woes come inside, what do? Pause, take a deep breath, take action, right? Take action. Less worry, take action. If you're worried about, this, maybe you're doing a big career change. Maybe you're like in chapter 2 now of your career, take action. Get on LinkedIn, send 5 messages out to people who are in the careers or doing something similar to what you want to do. Ask for an informational interview. Talk to your mentor. Talk to a coach, right? Like take action. Stop worrying, take action. Cut the crap, because the worrying's not going to help, but taking action and taking the action that will help further whatever the change is. So if it's your career, talking to other people, networking, going to events, sprucing up the resume, right? Getting certifications, like whatever the frick you need to frickin' do, but take action, take action, take action, take action, right? Take action. And then lastly, just stay focused, right? I think that's super hard. I know for us, like with a move and a relocation, there's a lot of moving pieces. So for us, what we're focusing on is deep breaths, right? No worry, taking action and just staying focused at hand, right? I'm not out here, like I said, I'm not out here worried about getting answers to people and their silly ass questions or, oh my God, how we're going to move I'll take action and take breaks and take care of myself and feed my mind, body, and soul. That is my mission. For me to be successful, I have to feed my mind, body, and soul every day. That is my daily mission. And that's what I'm focusing on, right? I'm not focusing on the stupid stuff. I'm not focusing on the stuff that isn't relevant or the other opinions that aren't relevant, right? So with that, that's pretty much kind of what I have written down in my journal entry about me being ready for a new adventure. Of course, I'm going to share this on all the platforms that I'm a part of, but definitely for Dressing Roommate, what I'm intending is to, help you guys, take you along, right? Because for anyone who is interested in this area of the country, I hope to show you, what it's like, what my experience has been like. I'll obviously put out, upcoming events and things that I'm doing. So, if you want to stay abreast of what I'm up to, the best place is to visit dressingroom8.com. And so let me put that in the comments so you have that. And with that, you just put that, make sure you visit. I really encourage you to just think about the conversation I had today and really just ask yourself, right? Like, are you living where you want to live? Are you doing what you want to do? Are you living the way that you want to do and the life that you want for yourself? And if not, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? Are you going to sit there and complain? Are you going to sit there and be miserable and do nothing and let time pass you by? Because time goes, guys. Time goes. I remember being 6 years old. I remember being 16 years old. I remember my last year's birthday, right? Time flies. It waits for no man or woman or child. It moves. And it is not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee that you're going to wake up tomorrow. It is not a guarantee that we're all going to live till we're 100. It is not a guarantee. So really hardcore, sit with yourself, real talk. If you're not living the way you want to live, it's up to you to make a change. It's up to you to transform your life. That's it. You cannot expect anyone to save you. You are your savior. You are your best advocate. So if you need to make a change in your life, I plead with you. Get real with yourself. Make that decision, because once you start from the decision and this place of yes, I want to make a change, right? You can put things in motion. You can start speaking to people that will help you on your journey. But if you never get to the space of clarity, if you never start from the yes, you're stuck. You're stuck living a lesser existence, and you deserve more, right? I know I deserve more. I know I deserve more than New York weather. I know I deserve a better life than the life I've been living here. Because again, for me, climate is super, super important. It's not important to everyone, right? But for me, waking up and getting an overload of vitamin D, an overload of heat. That's something that I have dreamt about. That's something that I know that I know that I want it. In my bones, I know it, right? And I've known this for such a long time. I mean, even when I was thinking about going to college and all that before I applied to Penn State, I explored the idea of going to California schools. I have just felt this yearning to go there, to that side of the country. And for us, Arizona is kind of a beautiful middle ground between California and Vegas, because we love Vegas. Yes, we love Vegas. Love Vegas. Shout out to Vegas, baby. And, I wanted to be, but for me, California, didn't want to live there. Water droughts, earthquakes, expense, I want to visit. I want to travel there as much as possible. Do I want to live there? No, but I want to be closer to there. I've always known that. So hello, Arizona. I can't wait to see you. Dressing Roommate fans and family, guys, as I get there, I will keep you in the loop, but please visit dressingroom8.com and you'll stay abreast of all my upcoming events. I encourage you to, if you're looking to make a change, if you want to put that in the comments and you want to talk to me, great. If you want to email me, you can always reach me at, and I'll put that, Natasha@dressingroom8.com, all right? And I'll put that so you have that in the comments. And lastly, please share this video, guys. Hello, people who could benefit from this conversation. It might be you, right? Hey, hello, yep. So if you need to rewatch this damn video. If you know your friend or your cousin is she needs a change, hello, share the video, guys. Share this video out. And I just appreciate everyone who watched this on the live. I appreciate you if you're watching this on the replay. And if you reach out to me and if you want to have a private conversation, I'm here to be a resource for you. You know, that's what I do. I coach, I consult. That's what I do. And it has been an immense joy and major transition in my life that I made because, again, I took a chance, I took a leap, and it has been paying off, and it has been one of the best decisions of my entire life. I'm happiest since I've done it, and now I know I'll be able to move to what I consider paradise, because constant sun is paradise for me. And hopefully lots of swimming and hiking and time with my pooch outdoors, all of that good stuff. I can't wait. So I can't wait to show you more once I'm there, guys. But thanks for, if you support this and you know, are all about it, tell me your thoughts, all of that good stuff. Let's have a conversation. All right. So go to dressingyourmate.com to see all my upcoming events. And with that, you enjoy the rest of your day, beautiful people, and, make a change, right? That's my last bit. Make a change because you deserve it. Make a change because you are worth it. Yes, you are. Okay. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.